I was actually quite surprised to discover that North America never got this game, as it's one of the earliest Game Boy Advance titles I remember playing when the system came out, and as I recall it was fairly ubiquitous for a year or two at least. It was on a sample stand in this electronics store alongside Super Mario Advance in what must have been late 2001. I was there looking to spend my birthday money on Red Faction for the PlayStation 2, and got refused because I wasn't old enough to buy it, which would pinpoint the year fairly accurately. There you go, you now roughly know how old I am. I got Crazy Taxi instead, if you were wondering, which is nowhere near a fair exchange, and an absolutely terrible business decision by me. God, I was so grumpy that evening. Anyway, that was a weird tangent. I'll allow the snide remarks this time. Yeah, I suck at Kururin. Go on, you can say it. This is one of those games that make me seriously question my fine motor functions and hand-eye coordination. Yeah, I just don't have this in my skill set. You're in control of this permanently rotating stick helicopter and have to navigate through really tricky labyrinths to reach the goal. You need to time your movements to avoid clipping the blades of your vehicle on the walls, which can send you ricocheting out of control. But you need to do it quickly as well to get the best scores. I suppose it's up to you whether you want to go for simply completing the courses or actually trying to top those leaderboards. No hope for me on that front, I fear. The tracks are often laid out in such a way that there's a best line to take. If you're able to visualize what that is, you can artfully glide around corners, changing directions using wall-mounted springs and so on. Note that the springs can also mess you up if you hit them from the wrong side or at the wrong time. Often you want to avoid them. Later on as well, there are spike balls, pistons, and cannons that are placed just so to ruin your run. This is something of a collectibles game as well, with several icons and such scattered around. The stuff you collect is pretty much just superficial, but it's there if you like that sort of thing. You can customize your helicopter, making the blades wiggly, multicolored, change designs, that sort of thing, but none of it really does much. Throughout the levels too, you'll see these baby ducklings that land on your blades. There are 10 of them, one for each world, and you can rescue them if you want for a little dialogue, but nothing else. The control scheme is very simple. You can actually play the game with the D-pad alone, but pressing A or B will speed you up a bit, with A and B together speeding you up even more. Pressing L or R makes some horn sounds and even farmyard noises for some reason. If you're wanting to trouble the leaderboards, don't feel ashamed if not. Just getting round some of the tracks without blowing up is hard enough. Then you're going to have to risk some of the shortcuts. These are incredibly hard to negotiate, but will cut a chunk off your time. If a path is there, it will be possible to pass through, even if it looks impossible. Just keep trying. It's a case of knowing when to speed up and when to be more restrained. Don't just hold the button the whole way round, as that's a surefire way to fail. If ever the phrase less haste, more speed applied to a video game, this was it. If you take damage, it's not only health you'll lose, you'll also get a time penalty. This doesn't apply when you're in the safe zones. Here you can hit the walls as much as you like, so use them to realign your blades if you need to. The colorization and the graphics are delightfully cartoonish and full of charm, with some fun audio throughout as well. Anyone can pick up and play Kururin, which speaks to its appeal. Whether they'll be any good at it is less certain because it's incredibly tricky, almost notoriously so.